She stood against humanity. Then he did the impossible. Zara watched the human ships approach through the viewport of her command vessel. Her violet eyes burned with hatred as she counted their numbers. 30 vessels against her fleet of 200. The humans were either very brave or very stupid. The Velkhari Empire had ruled the galaxy for 3,000 years. They were tall, elegant beings with silver skin and minds sharp enough to cut through space itself. Zara was their youngest fleet commander, chosen for her brilliant tactical mind and her complete lack of mercy toward lesser species. Humans were the newest threat to their perfect order. These small, weak creatures had somehow managed to spread across dozens of star systems in just a few centuries. They built crude ships and fought with primitive weapons, yet they kept winning battles they should have lost. Commander Zara, her second-in-command, spoke from behind her. "The human fleet is requesting communication." Zara turned from the viewport. Her long silver hair flowed like liquid mercury down her back. She wore the deep blue uniform of a Velkhari commander, marked with symbols of her many victories. "Let them speak," she said. "I want to hear their pathetic surrender." The main screen flickered to life. A human male appeared, sitting in what looked like a small, cramped bridge. He had brown hair and green eyes and wore a simple gray uniform with no fancy decorations. His name appeared on the screen as Captain Jake Morrison. "This is Captain Morrison of the Earth Defense Force," he said. His voice was calm and steady. "We know you have us outnumbered, but we cannot let you pass. The colony world of New Haven is behind us. 2 million people live there, including families with children." Zara laughed, a sound like silver bells ringing. "Human, you face the might of the Velkhari Empire. Stand down immediately or be destroyed." Jake Morrison looked directly at her through the screen. "I have my orders, Commander." "We will not move. Then you will die," Zara said. She cut the communication and turned to her weapons officer. "Destroy them all." The battle began with a storm of energy beams. The Velkhari ships moved in perfect formation, their weapons striking with deadly precision. The human ships scattered like frightened birds, their return fire barely scratching the Velkhari shields. Zara watched with satisfaction as the first human ship exploded in a ball of orange flame. Then the second. The humans were fighting bravely, but bravery meant nothing against superior technology and numbers. But something strange began to happen. As more human ships fell, the remaining ones fought harder. They used tactics Zara had never seen before, ramming damaged ships into Velkhari vessels or using their own explosions to create cover for others. One human ship, badly damaged and venting atmosphere, managed to slip through the Velkhari formation. It fired all its weapons at once, overloading its power systems to destroy a Velkhari cruiser before exploding itself. "Impossible," Zara whispered. No species had ever been willing to sacrifice themselves like this. The Velkhari valued their lives too much. Even their enemies usually surrendered when defeat was certain. The battle continued for 2 hours. The humans lost ship after ship, but they never retreated. They fought until their weapons failed, until their engines died, until their life support gave out. And somehow, impossibly, they began to win. Captain Morrison's ship was the last one standing. Its hull was blackened and torn, sparks flying from damaged systems. But it still moved, still fired its weapons with deadly accuracy. Zara had lost half her fleet. The impossible had happened. 30 human ships had destroyed 100 Velkhari vessels. "All ships, focus fire on the human commander," Zara ordered. Her voice shook with rage and disbelief. 20 Velkhari ships turned their weapons toward Morrison's vessel. The combined firepower would vaporize it instantly. But then something happened that changed everything. A new ship appeared on Zara's sensors. It was human but different from the others. Larger, more advanced, with weapon signatures she didn't recognize. The ship moved between Morrison's vessel and the Velkhari fleet. "This is Admiral Amy Collins of the UES Liberty," came a voice over the communication system. "Captain Morrison, you and your people have done enough. Stand down and let us handle this." Zara stared at the screen in shock. The new ship was beautiful in a way that hurt to look at. It was sleek and powerful, built with technology that seemed years ahead of what the other human ships carried. "Admiral, with respect, I can still fight," Morrison replied. "I know you can." "Jake," Admiral Collins said. Her voice was warm but firm. "But your ship is barely holding together, and your crew needs medical attention. You've bought us the time we needed." Morrison's ship slowly moved away from the battle line. Zara could see the damage it had taken. How was it even still flying? The Liberty faced the remaining Velkhari fleet alone. 1 ship against 100. Velkari Commander, Admiral Collins spoke over the open channel. I am offering you 1 chance to surrender. Leave this system immediately and never return. Zara felt her anger return. You face the entire Velkari fleet with 1 ship, human. Your courage borders on insanity. Maybe, Collins replied. But you just watched 30 of our ships destroy half your fleet. What do you think one of our best ships can do? Zara was about to order the attack when her science officer spoke up. Commander, I'm reading energy signatures from that ship that shouldn't be possible. Their power output is off the charts. Fire all weapons, Zara commanded. The Velkari fleet opened fire with everything they had. Hundreds of energy beams struck the Liberty from all directions. The space around the human ship glowed like a small sun. When the light faded, the Liberty was still there, undamaged. Its shields had absorbed everything the Velkari could throw at it. Our turn, Admiral Collins said. The Liberty fired once. A single beam of pure energy lanced out from its main weapon and struck the center of the Velkari formation. The beam passed through 6 ships, destroying them instantly, then split into dozens of smaller beams that found their targets with impossible accuracy. In 30 seconds, 50 Velkari ships were gone. Zara's hands shook as she gripped the arms of her command chair. What kind of weapon is that? The kind we build when someone threatens our families, Collins replied. Commander, you have 49 ships left. I can destroy them all in the next minute, or you can leave now and tell your empire what you learned here today. For the first time in her life, Zara felt true fear. But it wasn't fear of death that made her hands tremble. It was the realization that everything she had believed about humans was wrong. She had thought they were weak because they were small. She had thought they were primitive because their technology looked simple. She had thought they would break easily because they cared about things other than conquest. Instead, she had found a species that fought harder when outnumbered. That built weapons of incredible power but used them only to protect others. That would sacrifice everything for people they had never met. Captain Morrison had been willing to die to protect strangers. Admiral Collins had the power to destroy the entire Velkari fleet, but offered mercy instead. These weren't the actions of a weak or primitive species. Commander, her tactical officer whispered, what are your orders? Zara looked at the Liberty on her screen. It hung in space like a silver angel, beautiful and terrible and completely beyond her understanding. She thought of her own people back home. They lived in crystal cities and wrote poetry about the perfection of their empire. They had never known real hardship or sacrifice. They had never been tested the way these humans had been tested. What would happen when the full might of humanity came for the Velkari worlds? Would her people fight as bravely as Morrison and his crew? Had they ever cared about anything enough to die for it? All ships, Zara said quietly. Stand down. We are withdrawing from this system. Commander, her second-in-command protested. The Empire will not accept defeat. The Empire has never faced anything like this, Zara replied. She opened a channel to the Liberty. Admiral Collins, this is Commander Zara of the Velkari Empire. We are leaving as you requested. Thank you, Commander, Collins replied. I hope this doesn't have to happen again. So do I, Zara said, and she meant it. As her fleet turned to leave, Zara took one last look at Morrison's damaged ship. The human captain had fought like a warrior from the old legends, protecting his people with courage that made her silver blood burn with shame. She had come here expecting easy victory over a lesser species. Instead, she had witnessed something that would haunt her dreams forever. She had seen what humans became when they had something worth fighting for. The Velkari Empire would not make the mistake of underestimating humanity again. But Zara suspected that might not be enough. She had seen the future in Admiral Collins' eyes, and it belonged to the species that refused to give up, the species that made the impossible possible, one sacrifice at a time.